Imagine if there were a school where having fun was against the rules, and even laughing was strictly banned. Yep, Jerome Horwitz Elementary School has those standards. During recess, like other students, George and Harold try to have some fun. They love following their passion for creating comics. Their favorite one is Captain Underpants. It's about a superhero who was born on a planet where everyone only wore underpants. One day, the planet was struck by disaster, and Captain Underpants was sent to Earth, where he was raised by dolphins. Yup, dolphins. That's how George wrote the story, making Captain Underpants the greatest superhero of all time. Following the story, Harold illustrates the comic, and it's finally completed.
It's so good. We should have done an origin issue ages ago.
Yeah, like first.
You know, I'm not sure about the dolphins, though.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know if it was the thing where it was like good weird or bad weird.
The two kids start imagining the success they might achieve by publishing their masterpiece. But then, their dreams are shattered by their cruel principal, Mr. Krupp. He tears the comic into pieces and calls George and Harold to his office. He locks the door with an automatic system and blames the kids for a recent prank. The school notice board was changed with an inappropriate message.
This morning's school sign is supposed to read, "Sewage plant field trips are today." So can either of you explain why it now reads,
"Come see my hairy armpits"?
And Mr. Krupp believes George and Harold are behind it.
I know you two are responsible.
How? How do you know? Do you have any proof? I mean, this is a country of laws.
The proof is here, inside my gut.
He must have a lot of proof in there.
Quiet, fine.
Despite the strict rules, the two kids keep pulling pranks every day to bring smiles to their classmates' faces. Otherwise, this school would be no fun at all. Mr. Krupp doesn't understand the students' needs and keeps looking for proof to punish George and Harold, but he hasn't found any yet. So, for now, the kids are free, but they aren't going to stop their mischievous behavior. They do it for the sake of the other students, who feel like they're trapped in jail. The students memorize daily lessons and have no activities like sports, art, or music. Everyone, students and teachers alike, is fed up with the system, except Melvin. He only cares about grades and often tattles on other students to earn extra credit from Mr. Krupp. As the bell rings, the teacher enters the classroom hoping to enjoy the weekend. But then, Mr. Krupp announces a science exhibition. That's how he ruins every weekend, by arranging unnecessary events.
This Saturday is the mandatory invention convention.
What?
You must be here with your inventions at 8 a.m.
Is there no justice?
I know that's early for Saturday, but don't worry, you should be done by 9 p.m.
There are plenty of reasons to hate this school, and kids only smile when they finally leave it. George and Harold are neighbors and spend the rest of their day in their treehouse. George keeps writing creative stories while Harold draws them as comics. As night falls, they go to bed and wake up happily. It's Saturday. They plan to spend the day in pajamas, but their parents remind them about the science exhibition.
Get in the car, boys! You've got the invention convention today!
Mr. Krupp has fired the science teacher for asking to spend the weekend with his family, so now the students have to listen to Melvin explain his inventions. Everyone is dying of boredom. Only George and Harold can save the day.
This is the stuff of nightmares. We have to do something about this.
I don't know. Krupp looks serious this time, George. Maybe we should just lay low for a while.
Lay low? Look at our fellow children. Look upon their sad, miserable, pathetic faces.
They notice Mr. Krupp napping and sneak onto the stage to mess with Melvin's invention. The machine starts throwing toilet paper everywhere, and the students burst into laughter. Mr. Krupp wakes up and scolds Melvin for his useless invention. George and Harold think they've gotten away with it, but the next day they're called into the office. One of Melvin's inventions, a turtle with a built-in camera, recorded everything. Mr. Krupp finally has proof and decides to punish them by putting the two best friends in separate classes.
I have a much more effective punishment in mind, because I'm going to have you two placed in separate classes! I'm going to annihilate your friendship!
What? No!
You see? You won't be together. You won't be able to enjoy each other's company and ruin my life.
The kids are devastated. They've been together since kindergarten, and their friendship means everything. They decide to take action. The only solution they can think of is stealing the turtle. The next morning, they keep an eye on Mr. Krupp. When he leaves his office to follow his crush, Edith, the kids sneak in. They don't find the turtle, but they do find their confiscated belongings. Suddenly, Mr. Krupp returns. The turtle is tied to his leg, and there's no way to steal it.
Nice try. Turtle and I have grown quite attached. We're inseparable, actually. I carry him wherever I go, including the shower!
He takes out the class transfer papers, ready to sign them. George spots his toy ring and jokingly threatens to hypnotize Mr. Krupp with it. The principal laughs, but then something strange happens. Everything starts to float, and Mr. Krupp falls into a deep sleep. George orders him to act like a chicken, and he actually does.
When I snap my fingers, you will obey our every command.
Wait, how do you know this?
I don't know. I just say the first thing that comes to my mind with great authority. You are now a chicken.
The ring works. After some fun, the boys get a great idea. They order Mr. Krupp to become Captain Underpants.
You are now the greatest superhero of all time, the amazing Captain Underpants!
In a blink, the principal strips down, grabs the curtains like a cape, and starts pretending to save the city. The fun turns into a nightmare when Mr. Krupp jumps out the window to fight crime. In reality, he's just causing chaos.
Is it okay that I'm kind of loving this?
Yes and no, but mostly yes.
George and Harold chase him through the city until he climbs a tall building, mistaking a giant balloon for a monster. Fortunately, they use a crane to save him, convincing a police officer that he's their uncle who suffers from sleepwalking. Back in their treehouse, the boys try to figure out how to cure him. They accidentally spill water on Mr. Krupp, and he turns back to normal. Water, it turns out, changes him. Splashing him again makes him Captain Underpants. They keep playing with the effect until he collapses from exhaustion, and they drag him home. Surprisingly, his house is neat but lonely. Maybe that's why he's always so angry. The kids feel sorry for him and decide to keep him distracted so he won't separate them again. The next morning, George and Harold enter the school blasting loud music and disco lights. Furious, Mr. Krupp signs the transfer papers immediately. The kids throw water at him. Captain Underpants is back. They tell him he's on a secret mission and must disguise himself as the principal. Soon, a strange man named Professor P arrives, applying for the science teacher job. He has no experience and a portfolio full of dangerous experiments. Captain Underpants is impressed and hires him instantly. But Professor P, whose full name is revealed to be Professor Poopy Pants, has a sinister goal. He wants to eliminate laughter from the world. When George and Harold learn about his plan, they turn Mr. Krupp into Captain Underpants again to stop him. They create a new comic with Professor Poopy Pants as the villain, and soon the whole school is laughing at him. This reminds the professor of the day everyone laughed at his name during an award ceremony. Ever since, he's hated laughter and vowed to destroy it. Angry and humiliated, Poopy Pants begins experimenting on Melvin, who has no sense of humor. Meanwhile, George, Harold, and Captain Underpants make the school more fun. They perform silly concerts and even reopen the art room. But things spiral out of control when Captain Underpants turns the school grounds into a carnival. As rain begins to pour, Mr. Krupp accidentally gets wet and turns back to normal, furious to see his school half destroyed. He punishes George and Harold by separating them again. The two best friends feel as if they're living in different worlds that may never reunite. Meanwhile, Poopy Pants completes his research on Melvin. He plans to use him to wipe out laughter from the entire world. Using his enlarging gun, Poopy Pants turns Melvin's robotic toilet into a huge monster. But to power it, they need a massive energy source, something like a nuclear power plant. Melvin, however, knows an even more toxic option: the school cafeteria leftovers. Poopy Pants uses them to fuel his robot and brings terror to the entire city. George and Harold escape their boring class and meet in the restroom. There's no time for an emotional reunion. The city is under attack. Poopy Pants drives his robot to the school and uses a device attached to Melvin to steal the students' laughter. George and Harold hide, determined to protect their sense of humor. They refuse to live boring lives without jokes or pranks. Their only hope is Captain Underpants, but unfortunately he's completely useless without superpowers. Poopy Pants grabs poor Captain Underpants, squashes him like a sandwich, and beats him brutally. While he's distracted, George and Harold try to convince Melvin to leave the mad professor's side. Unfortunately, he refuses. The kids then apologize to Poopy Pants for making fun of his name and advise him to take it lightly, to learn to laugh at himself.
Sir, are you saying your full name is Pee-Pee Diarrheastein Poopy Pants Esquire?
Uh-huh. Stop it! Stop laughing!
Oh, come on! Listen, your problem isn't that people laugh at you. Your problem is that you can't laugh at yourself.
But Poopy Pants refuses to give up his bizarre revenge. He throws Captain Underpants into the giant toilet, then grabs the kids to remove their ability to laugh. Surprisingly, the laughter section of their brains is bigger than their actual brains. Poopy Pants powers up his laser to maximum strength, and the kids' laughter centers start to shrink. It almost disappears, until Poopy Pants starts listing the planets he plans to conquer. That's when George and Harold remember the Uranus joke they made back in kindergarten. It makes them burst out laughing. Their laughter is so powerful that it destroys Poopy Pants' laser device, restoring laughter to all the students. But Poopy Pants isn't done yet. He attacks again with his shrinking gun. George and Harold run around, praying for a miracle. Suddenly, Captain Underpants bursts out of the toilet. The toxic fluid has given him superpowers. He beats up Poopy Pants and snatches his gun, but being as clueless as ever, he accidentally turns the mad scientist into a giant monster and shrinks the entire school. Now there are tiny students and tiny teachers with their tiny salaries, symbolizing society's struggles in education. George and Harold step in, using the gun to shrink Poopy Pants back to normal size. The villain flies away on a bee, and the whole city is once again saved by the legendary hero, Captain Underpants. But he can't stay forever. The kids must bring Mr. Krupp back. George takes off the ring and smashes it with his shoe, breaking the hypnosis. Mr. Krupp wakes up and rushes home. George and Harold make a promise to remain best friends forever, even if they're in separate classes. Still, they want to fix Mr. Krupp's life. He needs someone to cheer him up, so they write fake love letters to both Mr. Krupp and Edith. The touch of love makes the grumpy principal smile from ear to ear. He's finally learned the value of happiness and may never act so rudely again. George and Harold watch their principal enjoy his date and feel proud of what they've done, unaware of the surprise waiting for them. The robotic toilet has turned other toilets into creepy monsters. But the biggest surprise of all? Mr. Krupp can still transform into Captain Underpants with just a snap of the fingers. With his silly yet heroic presence, no villain can threaten the city again. Because sometimes, rude people aren't truly bad. They just need a little love to bring back their smiles. So what did you think of this movie? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more movie stories. See you next time.